5-minute rounds in the featherweight division. Esta pelea está pactada a 3 rounds de 5 minutos. Introducing first, fighting off the blue corner. El primer peleador en la esquina azul with an MMA record of 10-4. Con un récord de MMA de 10-4. From Colombia, please welcome Juan Pablo Mendoza. And his opponent, su oponente, firing out the red corner en la esquina roja with an MMA record of 8-6, con un récord de artes marciales mixtas de 8-6. From Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, please welcome Ty Johnson. The referee for this fight, the sensei, Oliver Cruz.
Well, Shorty, it's already been a tremendous week for Ty Johnson. Just became a black belt in jiu-jitsu only 2 days ago from Punta Cana Martial Arts, so he's feeling himself tonight.
And I feel like this is a very, self-explanatory fighter breakdown. Ty, bring the fight down to the ground, but set up your shots. And Mendoza, set up your strikes. Don't go too fast. But, beautiful. Immediately lands the uppercut and hook.
And Ty Johnson going for the single leg early on here.
And this is what he needs to do. But we see, beautiful job. But Mendoza's fighting this hard. Beautiful knee by Johnson as well.
Ty Johnson landing a number of quick lefts. He's been a very prolific fighter. 16 fights in just under 3 years.
This man is doing work.
Ty Johnson trying to establish control against the cage. Oh, takedown.
Beautiful job.
Already. Ty Johnson already with back control here. Oh, boy.
And we just see how quick he is and how flexible he is. This is his style. This is his bread and butter.
And we mentioned Mendoza's kickboxing prowess. You can't do anything about it when you're on the ground. Ty Johnson, very effective, only 1 minute in.
And beautiful body triangle. This is extremely hard to get out of. Mendoza needs to put all that pressure on that side, and Johnson immediately switches sides. And I think this is going to be, a game of cat and mouse, just sliding back and forth.
Can Johnson slide the right hand in?
And we see Johnson immediately again switching that body triangle over. And his elbow's bleeding. I'm assuming maybe a nice little scrape off the fence.
Yeah. And you see Ty Johnson very methodical, very calm and relaxed. He realizes this is exactly where this fight wants to be for him.
But holding that body triangle gets exhausting because you're also switching sides multiple times and you're squeezing. But so far, Mendoza's just playing smart. He's playing it safe. He can't get out, but he needs to work the legs. Yes, he's doing the right thing at leaning over to the side the foot is posted on. But he needs to start working those legs to be able to get out of that position, being able to step over and then try to escape a reverse.
Once again, good evasion by Mendoza, but Ty Johnson refuses to let go here.
And there's one hook out.
They're right up in front of us here. Ty Johnson just constant motion.
And I wonder if he's going to try to go for a twister here because he's really deep with that one. He is.
He called for a twister.
Oh, my gosh.
Ty Johnson called for a twister.
And he doesn't have the proper angle here. And Mendoza's going to be able to reverse position. Johnson forced it. And maybe I knew he was going to go for it, too.
Maybe a little bit too much show there for Ty Johnson. Mendoza able to evade.
Well, he's smart, but the way the legs are crossed, Johnson still has an opportunity to take the back. But you see that left underhook.
A lot of pressure on the hamstring there. And now Mendoza.
I told you Johnson was going to be able to take the back, and he's still trying to go for the twister.
What a beautiful transition by Ty Johnson.
This time he gives it up. He's taking the back. He puts in one hook. He's going for the other one. And back to the body triangle.
And you can see Mendoza slowly exhausting himself. Oh, there it is. Oh, no, he's able to slide out.
And I like how Johnson is just, again, putting those submissions in, attempting. He's not forcing anything. The only type of strain he has right now is on those legs because of the body triangle. But it's hard for Mendoza as well because it's exhausting. You're squeezing your lungs.
Yeah. And Ty Johnson has been relentless. About 3 minutes now of control time, almost since the beginning of the round.
Oh, it looks like he's...
Now a flurry of left hands.
And I like how Johnson's also mixing it with strikes. Oh, he's able to get behind the shoulder here.
As Mendoza was oh wow.
Yeah, Mendoza's doing a nice job of just fighting the hands, getting proper hand control. The only problem is, again, he's not fighting the legs to where he can get out. He's trying to spin as he did the first time, but those are one in a few.
At this point, Mendoza's trying to survive the round. 50 seconds left here. Can he find a way to escape the clenches of Ty Johnson here?
And the hard part, again, a body triangle is extremely tough to get out of. And he almost got out of there, but he forced his way out and almost left his neck open.
Ty Johnson has been so close on a number of occasions, but every time Mendoza was able to find a way to escape.
But see, Mendoza might be able to survive until the second round, and he was landing beautiful strikes in the beginning. I think he landed 3 immediately when the fight started. So is he going to be able to do that again? He knows he's going to shoot for a double. So how is the movement going to change in round number 2?
Once again, Mendoza proving he certainly has a lot of grit to survive the first round, and he does.
Tough. Extremely tough.
What a round for Ty Johnson.
And you see how Johnson immediately has to stand up, and he's hopping because that blood circulation's not there. He's squeezing his legs the entire time. I mean, heck, put your hands together and squeeze your elbows as tight as you can. It's the same thing. Hold that for 3 minutes, and now do that to your legs. It's extremely tiring. And we see the uppercut. Nice little kind of check hookish uppercut, shovel hook.
But the rest of the round was pure dominance by Johnson.
And we just see how immediately he puts in the hooks. He's not able to get it in, so he pulls him back. He's able to get it and just keeps on flipping sides with that body triangle.
If you're Mendoza and you're Mendoza's corner, what is your strategy going into this round? Because Ty Johnson has been completely in control.
You know, the big thing is start throwing to the body. That's going to lower your frame, lower your body, and overall get you more prepared for shots. If you only aim to the head, that's easy to miss, and there's so much room for Johnson to go for those shots. Start aiming to the body. Start throwing uppercuts. Heck, even start throwing knees, especially on the side he knows the head is going to be on.
Do you feel like Ty Johnson's even going to give him any room to use his kickboxing skills? Thus far, that hasn't happened.
He shouldn't. I mean, I definitely wouldn't recommend him to. You know, Johnson is it's not anything bad towards him, but it's like saying he's a typical jiu-jitsu fighter who's not used to that stand-up game. Sometimes he puts his head a little too high, leaves his chin open, and he gets hit. Sometimes they might be clean strikes.
Underway in round 2, Mendoza slips there, center of the cage.
And beautiful sportsmanship by Johnson. A nice left hook by him as well.
And now Johnson going for a takedown early on.
And see, that's the bad thing is you put yourself against the wall. You know, Johnson was like, all right, cool, yeah, I'll be here. I'm more than happy to clinch. Yeah. I'm going to try to take you down and turn you, and he does. But he's able to take the back, and he gets a beautiful hook. He's fine there. Doesn't matter with that. He's fine. Most of the time, at least. I could be wrong. He's going to try to whizzer out. Oh. But see, it's just like the position in the very first round. Ty is going to try to go under that arm and eventually take the back.
Mendoza's certainly aware of that after surviving the first round. Cluster of right hands from Mendoza.
You know, what Ty needs to do is get that arm in front of the face, which he's trying to do, and establish an underhook on that right side. And then from there, he's able to take the back, no problem. But that's the hard part is Mendoza's doing a really good job at keeping his head up and making it harder for Ty to get his arm out.
I mean, some of these shots are landing here for Mendoza.
You know, but they're small. Oh, it's kind of like a modified twister right here. Because in a sense, he's in position. He's trying to get Mendoza on his back, but it's a very hard position to get him to roll on.
The question is, can Mendoza find a way to roll out here? Ty Johnson has been very dominant.
What technically Mendoza needs to do is push that knee down to get your leg out. The only problem is it also gives Johnson enough room to possibly finish that back control. And again, Johnson does so well is taking the back, putting those hooks in, and he takes those big leaps.
Quick transition. How tired is Mendoza right now? That's the question.
And we're back just like in round one.
And this is where Ty Johnson wants to be. He'll be patient.
Oh, and for him, even if he doesn't get the finish, I mean, that's definitely what he wants, but he's winning every round by just this control, and it's a dominant position, so the ref can't stand him up.
Halfway into round two, Ty Johnson, Juan Pablo Mendoza featherweight fight. And Johnson has been dominant, establishing back control for much of the first two rounds.
Oh, and we see kind of the small little extension there. I thought Johnson was going to try to possibly go for a twister again because there was space.
And you see Ty Johnson, just a game of chess here, just trying.
And it's a good job by Mendoza. Is he keeps on swaying back and forth to get, Ty to open up his legs to readjust the body triangle. But he's trying to catch a leg, and so far he's, only one hook is in, and correction, both hooks are in now.
Whoa.
But Mendoza's kind of like, hey, I found a window, but he stands still, and it's like, oh man, you work so hard to get to that point, it's exhausting, it's tiring. But he stays there. He's not chaining it together.
You see Mendoza just swinging wildly, trying his best. Oh, does he have it locked in? No.
And he's doing a good job at keeping his chin down. I was kind of hoping for the elbow and a twister again.
Ty Johnson.
We have a nice little chin wrench here, a little face crank. And sometimes you can force fighters to lift their chin up because that face crank feels like you're going to break your jaw.
Mendoza so far has not had an answer for the submission skills of Ty Johnson, and we're down to the final minute. Mendoza might survive this round again.
That's the hard part. You're surviving. That's technically good, but you're still losing. And now we have another face crank. This one, I mean, it's definitely not as exhausting for Johnson as it is for Mendoza to fight out of these positions, but you're putting, I wouldn't say wasting, but putting a lot of energy in, holding his body triangle and trying for face cranks.
Whoa,
and he might have this one.
That could be the beginning of the end. No, wow.
And Mendoza's doing a good job. He knows the angles. He knows where he should be and where he shouldn't be.
But like you said,
he's stuck.
Unfortunately, he's had virtually no offense for these two rounds as we are about to head to a third round.
And there were a lot of submission attempts in that round, too. But I think it's fair to say 2 10-9 rounds for Ty Johnson.
Ty Johnson also looking very fresh.
And immediately you see him trying to jaw, kind of warm up his legs because he's holding that position so long. It's exhausting.
Looking at the action in round two, very similar to what we saw in the first round.
And Mendoza, I mean, it almost looks like we're watching an exact replay. Mendoza's, in this second round, he was stuck longer. Johnson was able to adapt and go, cool, I know what he's going to do. I'll be finding these positions.
So if you're Mendoza at this point, do you just start taking chances?
Oh, 100%. Again, knees, uppercuts, but stop aiming to the head. Start aiming to the body because we already know Johnson is going to duck. He goes down. Anytime you throw it to the head, he's just bobbing and weaving and rolling under. And also keep your back off the fence because Johnson might not take the shot, but he's going to try to make it a grappling match. He's going to try to get that underhook as he's done these past two rounds, get you against the fence and get a takedown.
Ty Johnson has been locked in for this fight. He has been in firm control. As round three is underway, Titan FC 78 live on UFC Fight Pass. Juan Pablo Mendoza in the black. Ty Johnson in the black and red.
And beautiful sportsmanship by both. Like I was saying, this is exactly where you need to be. It is a slippery mat material, but again, they're both sweaty. This is natural. And beautiful right hand by Ty Johnson.
Once again, going for a takedown.
Oh, he might go for a leg lock here. Looks like he's trying to go for a heel hook. He was trying to attempt the Ashi, but he's using it to elevate. He gets the underhook. He has one hook in on the backside to try to sweep out to the side. Make it kind of like a 50-50 position here. Whizzer to a seatbelt.
Mendoza looking a little bit renewed here.
Oh, beautiful job by Ty Kalisa to try to extend that leg to get in a sense of, a modified dump. And Mendoza knows he can't break that grip, so he's just, trying to throw elbows to the head.
And but Johnson knows he's going to win via decision if this does go the distance.
Oh, yeah, and now we're back on the ground. This is exactly where Johnson wants to be, especially on the fence. Honestly, I think this is better because now Johnson can throw strikes. He has a 2-on-1, and that right hand's going to start throwing punches. If not,
And the back control once again by Ty Johnson.
I think he's trying to say he's grabbing his glove, but we have people in the back saying, choke him out, choke him out. I was like, hey, man, he's trying. It's tough. It's like that one video on Instagram where it's like these two guys are going. It's like, you just get up. And he just turns around to his coach like, yeah, I'm trying.
Yeah, easier said than done. Many other fighters would have already tapped out to Ty Johnson, but Juan Pablo Mendoza has a relentless attitude and spirit, that's for sure.
And I guess it shows Mendoza's pedigree in jiu-jitsu. He's a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. He knows that defense. He knows how to fight out of stuff. It's just when it comes to position control, the black belt Ty Johnson knows what to do. He might not be able to get that, submission, but looking at the film, he'll be able to adapt and modify for his next fight. He's going to learn from this experience, but he controlled the entire 3 rounds, the entire fight.
He truly has, almost halfway into round 3. Once again, Ty Johnson with all of the control time.
And his legs are going to be exhausted tomorrow.
I think everyone here is going to be exhausted tomorrow.
Yeah. And Mendoza, again, fighting the hands, but I always tell people, he's trying to turn here. He's trying to force that turn. I always tell people, if you're going to lose, man, lose in style. Lose the way you want to go out. Don't just try to survive. Try to win. So if you get tapped out, you get tapped out. Doesn't matter if you lost by decision or you got tapped out. It's the same exact thing. It's a loss.
Mendoza continuing to throw strikes, trying to escape from Ty Johnson, but Johnson is a machine tonight.
And you see, again.
Oh, wow. Just locked in the rear naked.
Oh.
This might be too much for Mendoza to handle.
Oh, this one's tighter. This one's under the neck now.
Ty Johnson has it locked in.
He needs to switch to a gable grip because Mendoza keeps on grabbing that hand.
Mendoza.
Oh, this one's tight now. This one's definitely tight. He switched to that gable grip. And beautiful job by Mendoza to fight out of it again.
Incredible there by Juan Pablo Mendoza. That fight looked over. We're now approaching.
Much closer for Ty Johnson to get that submission, but man, Mendoza is doing work.
We're now approaching the final minute here, and you're right. I mean, Ty Johnson was seconds away from Mendoza tapping out or passing out, and somehow.
I was about to say, are we going to get 3 people out, out and about in the cage today? 45 seconds left. Johnson still has a lot of opportunity, but he needs to now, again, 40 seconds left. Now you need to start forcing these positions. He finally gets him out.
Oh, no.
Is he going to try to transition to an armbar here? Oh. And this is where Johnson wants to be. He loves the back take. He's comfortable here. He knows it's almost impossible for him to get, critically hit back.
Perfect positioning for Ty Johnson. 15 seconds to go in the final round of this featherweight bout. You'd have to believe this will be a unanimous decision in the favor of Ty Johnson, but Juan Pablo Mendoza certainly came to fight tonight.
And I mean, a very beautifully technical fight.
Yeah, it was.
By Johnson. He just did what he needed to do. He tried to force submission at the end. He tried his best. But, Mendoza just knew what to do. The only problem was he didn't know how to get out.
Yeah, you can see a little bit of disappointment in Ty Johnson's face because we lost count of the number of times when we thought Ty Johnson was going to get Mendoza to tap out.
Oh, beautiful calf kick by Ty. And a nice combination by Mendoza as well, but you see that beautiful right hand. And Mendoza was doing a good job. He stayed low, but he also put his hands low. And that was a submission that was super close, but man, Mendoza was able to fight out of all of them. The only problem was he was able to fight off his back.
Well, Ty Johnson, the submission technician,
The referee
was on fire tonight.
Cruz is ready to show us the winner. After 3 rounds, by unanimous decision, the winner from Punta Cana, Dominican Republic,